Welcome to Zero to Hero Golf. Yep, that's the name of my brand new YouTube channel. And it's going to be my progress, recording my progress from where I'm at now to where I want to go, which is better than Scratch Golfer. Okay, so a little bit about myself. Um, in my late 30s, I was a four handicap golfer. Never particularly long off the tee, about 200 yards off the tee. Fairly straight because the distance is so short, it's easy to be straight. But I was pretty good about pitching, chipping, putting, and not too bad getting out of the greenside bunkers. And that's what really helped me to get down to four handicap. It wasn't because of my ball striking. Okay, so I don't want to repeat that journey because I've already been there and done that. I know what it is to be a four handicapper. I know what kind of work it takes to get down to that. So we're going to do things differently this time. The number one difference is going to be um, video recording my swing and making notes on what needs to be changed. Okay, so this is my first range session. We're going to look at four today at my attempt at single plane. So this is me hitting balls after years of not hitting balls, guys and gals. Okay. So the first thing I noticed when I got home about this video was I thought I was single plane, but I wasn't. Okay, that means the right forearm, the one closest to the camera, and the shaft are not in this. They're not in a single line together. Right? They're two separate lines. They're not connected. They're in two different planes. Okay. So you can see right here they're in two different planes. Okay. There's a whole lot of ugly going on in this swing at this point, and that's to be expected on the first day at the range. I see a whole lot of problems. This swing does not match Mo Norman. It does not match Todd Gray's, not even close. So I'm overswinging. I'm losing my spine angle. We can tell I'm overswinging because my elbow breaks down, and we can see it at the top of my head. If you watch the top of my head, you'll see that it actually goes out of frame here. Watch. See that? So we know we're losing spine angle there. Okay, made okay contact with the ball, but that's just kind of being lucky, right? Let's watch that rear foot. Not too bad on the rear foot. I actually kept the rear foot down. I noticed on the shorter clubs it's much easier to keep the rear foot down. So that was okay. Not really swinging under the torso or underneath the body very well. And there's a whole slew of other things going on there. We won't get into that. Okay. So this is day one, first session at attempting to swing single plane. Yeah. And later we'll talk about trying to load up the shaft and just a bunch of other things that need to be worked on here. So very interesting. Okay, we're going to look at this one more time, and then we're going to move on to day two. I think I look at this one more time here. It was a beautiful day out. Beautiful day out at the range. And try not to make fun of my chicken legs. Pretty skinny looking legs. Okay, we're going to go on to day two here. This is with a 2-wood. So you'll notice right away that I'm much more closer to single plane. Still over swinging, and I top the ball, and it goes pretty much dead right into the fence. Because listen, guys and gals, we got to be real. We have to also be honest. If we're going to have bad swings, we need to look at those too, right? That's why I put it in the video. It's not all about just showing the good ones. So much closer to single plane here. It could be a little bit better. So that was the big change for session 2, was to get my hands higher, stand a little bit further from the ball, and try to get that shaft in the right forearm in single plane. Okay. It's not quite there, but it's really, really close. Still over swinging dramatically. You can just, horrible there. But I'm not too hard on myself. I don't. I realize you got to have a really good attitude. If there's one thing that I learned by listening to Mo Norman over and over and over, the attitude makes such a big difference. I'm sure he had his bad days too, but the attitude is so important. Okay, we're going to move on to the third range session here. And these aren't necessarily consecutive days. I usually take a rest between days. And what you're going to notice here is pay attention to the right forearm and the shaft. By this time, only 3 sessions in, I finally get the single plane pretty much spot on. Look at that right there. Worked out really good. I finally got this thing. That's all because of video, guys and gals. You've got to take video. And I'm also tilting my spine back towards my rear foot because I realized I wasn't doing that either. Okay, at this point I'm still over swinging. I'm still losing spine angle, but nutted one. That's right, I said it. Nutted one right down the middle. Not very long, about 200 yards. So there's going to be a need to work on speed increase techniques and things like that. Going to have to get into that later, one thing at a time. So we had a really good single plane going on here. It's about as good as I can get it at this point. I feel like that's pretty good. I wouldn't mind Todd chiming in on this video if he gets a chance to look at it and tell me what he thinks. But I hate to ask him to do stuff for free because, obviously they're running a business. So still over swinging, and I noticed that the right foot is still definitely coming up early. For me, I noticed longer clubs are harder to keep the right foot down. And well, I'm going to watch my head here. I'm pretty sure my head raises up from over swinging. Okay. Yeah, you see how the head raises up there about 2 or 3 inches at least? But I gotta tell you guys and gals, even though there's a whole lot still wrong with this swing, that ball went dead straight. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, the ball continues to go, more balls are going straight more often with each session. Okay? That's a fact. It just keeps getting better. Okay, we're going to, after this swing, we're going to go to day session 4. We're just going to listen in after this swing because I realized it was important to actually keep the audio on and speak into the microphone on the camera the results of each shot because it helps during review. Let's listen in. Oh yeah, absolutely blasted. Straight as an arrow. Baby fade. Crushed. Flew at about 155. So about a 5-yard gain today, and I'm a little bit into a wind. Okay, so I know some of you are going to say, wow, what's the big deal with 155 yards? But you got to understand, I like to be honest with myself, and I don't like to tell lies. I'm a no BS kind of guy. If 200 yards off the tee tells you all about my distance problems, right? So for me to pick up, I actually picked about 8 yards on this day, on the average with between the 2 wood and the 5 hybrid. Both of them went about 8 yards longer, and I got that from watching one of Todd's videos, and I asked him a question, and he was kind enough to respond, and it made a huge difference. So today I decided to do a face on. You'll notice the camera's face on rather than from behind me, down the target line. And what you're going to notice is some of the big changes. Look how much shorter my backswing is. Of course, I'm pausing at the top because I'm not comfortable with change of direction yet. So that's a big difference, shorter backswing. My hands also I put forward of the club head. I know Todd probably doesn't really recommend that, but for me it made a big difference. Watch the divot I'm going to take. I'm able to hit a little bit more down on the ball. Nice little small divot. We're not talking John Daly pancake divots here. Just a nice tiny divot, and the ball's just struck much more solid. So my hands are a little bit forward of the club head at address, and that really helped me personally. I actually picked it up from one of Todd's videos that he did with one of his students. It was an older gentleman, and he had him push his hands forward because obviously Todd sees problems quite quickly in a swing, and I realized that might actually help me, and it really helped me a lot. Okay, there's much better, a lot of improvement, but there's still some big issues going on with this swing. I can tell that I'm not moving left into stabilization properly. I'm not rotating properly around. I'm more rotating kind of center of my body, almost firing from the backside of my body rather than getting the weight to the left and then rotating. You'll notice I'm going to rotate kind of center of my body rather than see. There's definitely an awkward moment there at impact. Very awkward. You can see it looks kind of dorky, right? If you'll notice, my shoulder and my hips are pretty much square at impact, and this is obviously not correct. So right at impact, my hips are probably, and I think Todd's going to call that the pelvis, is going to be open maybe 5-10 degrees at best. So there's a lot of work to be done here, but a lot of improvements, guys and gals. I want to say, get your cameras out, run your camera, run your audio, try to do it in 60 FPS. Makes a big difference. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Todd Graves and Tim Graves for all their help and their videos. Thank you guys so much. And everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video today. And I'm going to put up some more videos whenever I get a chance, hopefully every week, maybe every few days. So, all right, guys and gals, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe. Talk to you again real soon.